ॐ जयन्ती मंगला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते। So we are here at the 20th verse of chapter 9 of Bhagavad Geetā. In the 19th verse, we saw Bhagavan Sri Krishna describing, letting Arjuna know his unlimited glory. Tapamyaham varsham nigrahnami utsrajami cha. Varsham nigrahnami, I withdraw rains, utsrajami, I release rains. I heat the earth. I am the immortal essence of life. Amritam chaiva, mrityuscha, sadasachaham Arjuna. I am Sat, I am Asat. We have hastened to clarify, Asat never means utter void when it is used to indicate God. Asat means unknown, unmanifest. Sat means known, manifest. So what people know and what people do not know, all that he is. This shloka we saw, and we are poised to enter the 20th verse, but we must quickly see what Adi Shankara said about this tapami. Tapamyaham adityo bhutva, I become the sun, aditya, surya bhutva. Kaischid rashmibihi ulbanaihi, with sharp, with intense rays, I heat the earth. Aham varsham kaischit rashmibihi utsrajam. The acts of releasing rains and the act of withdrawing rains is all connected with certain rays in a spiritual sense. We don't have to mix science too much everywhere. Rashmi means ray, but do not equate it to how modern science uses the word ray in its deliberations. Just as about the 9 planets, we have Puja, what is that? Buddha, even Surya and Chandra are called planets in the Jyotisha. But the word planet is not an appropriate translation, as most of you know. English translations many a time give a different connotation. Best thing is to call the Navagrahas 9 grahas only. If you say Surya and Chandra are both satellites or what you call planets, it doesn't match with modern physics, where Surya is a star and Chandra is not even a planet. He is a satellite going around a planet, that is Earth. So the problem is not either with modern physics or with our Jyotisha Shastra. The problem is with the translation, and if the reader takes the word planet in a certain limited sense as applicable to one science, then don't use the word planet. Surya is a graha, a celestial object that is influencing human life. Chandra is a celestial object, celestial force, we must say. It's not just an inert object. So this way, you have translation problems. So Rashmi is ray, but think of Rashmi, which Shankaracharya uses. कैश्चित् रश्मिभिः उत्सृजामि कैश्चित् रश्मिभिः निगृह्णामि अष्टभिः मासैः पुनरुत्सृजामि प्रावृषि in rainy season अमृतं चैव मृत्युश्च मर्त्यानां देवानां अमृतं the relatively deathless existence of the devatas relatively for even when their merit is exhausted they also come to an end but relatively if human life is let's say 100 years the lifespan of devatas is very long number one and during that long existence their long stay in the heaven they neither face old age nor death. But at the end, when the punya is over, it's coming in the slokas again, the devatas come back on the earth. So Amritam Chaiva Devanam and Martyanam, as regards mortals, you and me on the earth, Mrityu. We face Mrityu. They say rightly, everything is uncertain in life. If there is anything certain, that is that everyone has to die one day. Death is certain, everything else is uncertain. Sad yasya yat sambanditaya vidyamanam tad viparitam asachaiva. In relation to a certain angle of view, you look at something as, it is. And it is in relation to that angle of view that you refer to something as not existing. For a whole lot of us who have, let us say, not traveled to some foreign country, lots of things in that foreign country are like asat only. Whereas if we have traveled to that country, whether it is Australia or Nigeria, whether it's a Fiji island or some small country in some corner of the globe, from that angle of view, we have never been there. We don't even know such a country exists, leave alone what natural wonders, what man-made wonders, what beautiful things and what ugly sides of that country are. They are all asat. We don't know them. Whereas if we have been, that's where some of us have gone several times to London. Then lots of things in London, UK are sat. That's what Sri Shankaracharya means. Yasya yat sambanditaya vidyamanam, yasya yat sambanditaya avidyamanam asat. Therefore, God is all those things which you know about. God is all those things which exist but you may not know about. Aham, hey Arjuna, I am all this. Na punaha atyantameva asat. What I said before comes from this line of the Shankara Bhāshya. Na punaha atyantameva asat. Never imagine Bhagavan is totally in literal, totally in all sense asat. No, he is sat only. Karyakarane asat sadasati. Sat and asat, when you make into a compound, it becomes sadasati because sati is the dual dvivachana of the word sat. Sat sati is perhaps santi, jagat jagati jaganti. That's how the vibhakti goes. Rama Rama Ramaha. But sat shabda, singular sat, dual is sati, plural is santi. Like that, this dual sat and asat. Satcha, asatcha, sadasati. For those who want to understand the word in the Bhashya. So with this we saw last time, but one or two words I had not explained in the Bhashya also. So I quickly went through once more. Now Acharya Shankara holds our hand and leads us to the 20th verse, the next verse. Therefore, in his connection, in his words that connect us, ye purvaktaihi, purvoktaihi, nivritti prakaraihi, एकत्व पृथक्त्वादि विज्ञानैः यज्ञैः मां पूजयन्तः उपासते ज्ञानविदः ते यथा विज्ञानं मामेव प्राप्नुवन्ति ये पुनरज्ञाः कामकामाः. So, connecting us to the next word, next verse, 20th, Bhagavan Bhashyakara briefly tells us that much was talked about those who worship God in one way, in two ways, or in many ways, in different ways. All of them withdraw into themselves, nivritti prakarai, withdrawing their mind from the world of gross names and forms. They lift that mind to the higher principle of divinity, and sometimes, as we say, ekatva, sometimes pratatva, aditya, chandra, and that is pratatva. Vijnanaihi. Vijnana here means such knowledge that supports, makes possible, upasana. Yajnaihi. Fourth chapter also had said, Evam bahuvidha yajnaha vitata brahmano mukhe. Brahmano mukhe in the Vedas, many kinds of yajnas are spoken of. Pujayantaha upasate jnanavidaha. They all of them go to God in various ways. They realize God on various levels. And of course, the totally illumined ones become one with God. But now, Adi Shankara says to us that the verse that is coming up is about ajnas, ignorant ones, those who don't know. And mind you, this is serious. Once you do not have an inkling of God, invariably you get attached to senses, sense objects. You can't say, I don't know God, but I have complete self-control with respect to pleasures of the world. Doesn't happen like that. Only with knowledge of God in explicit or implicit way. What happens is, once there is a knowledge of God, once there is an excitement about God, then the excitement of the world's attractions takes a back seat. Therefore, Shankaracharya, putting these two words together, ajnaha kama kamaha, about them, he says, he has this to say, the next verse is connected thereby, and that verse goes, Veda Vyasa changes the meter. From Anushtup, he goes over to Trishtup. Traividyamam somapa putapapaha yajnairištva swargatim prarthayante te punyamasadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan. Well, those who do not have that higher understanding are very much caught in karma. So these ignorant ones are not so bad as to be merely pleasure centered. They are working. In fact, in today's world also, a very large number of eminent people, maybe they are great scientists, lawyers, maybe they are great administrators, they are great experts in various fields. All of them belong to this group. They work hard, they are bright, they have degrees, qualifications from prestigious universities, and they are much envied, much regarded in the society. But they are yet to graduate to a certain spiritual living. Trividyaha literally means those who are into the three vidyas. In this context, it means the three Vedas. As we have said before, in a certain classification, all the Veda mantras are classified into just three, Rut, Yajus, and Sama. And another classification takes all the mantras and puts them in 4 boxes. Then Rig, Yajus, Sama and Atharva. So Traividyaha doesn't mean Atharva Veda is left out. In the threefold classification, Atharva Veda mantras are included in the 3. Traividyaha, those who go for the 3 Vedas. And one more important point is, the 3 Vedas here refer to Karma Kanda. Traividyaha, those who are devoted to karma. What's the difference between karma and jnana? What's the difference between Veda and Vedanta? Sri Shankaracharya would clarify in many of his Bhashyas. Karma is marked by sadhana sadhya vibhaga. There is a means and there is an end. Means and end are distinct there. You use fire to cook food. The cooked, ready to eat food is ready, that becomes available, and you use fire and of course vegetables and other ingredients. So there is a set of items and then the result is different. So cooking is a very simple example, but that's how I compared a while ago this whole category with modern experts in various fields. All human endeavors where the sense of doership is not erased belong to Karma Kanda. Great scientists, they send rockets to the moon, the rocket to the Mars. They do astounding things. On the earth also, their accomplishments are so great, jaw-dropping as they call it. But in principle, philosophically, however great somebody's achievement may be, it is time-bound. In due course of time, it dies away. Karma is finite. Finite also can be glorious at times. No one denies. Somebody leaves behind many records, breaks old records in athletics, in singing, in inventions, in getting certain prizes. There are some scientists or experts in certain other subjects who have got 2 Nobel Prizes in their life. I guess Madame Curie got 2 Nobel Prizes. I'm sure there are 1 or 2 others too. Oh, how wonderful. Great. But all that is Karma Kanda. In spite of Nobel Prizes won, and Padma Shri and other awards won, and Olympic gold, or in music they have some Grammy award, in cinema they have some Oscar award, in literature they have in India Jnanapita award, and globally they have some Pulitzer award, Man Booker award for some outstanding writings. No matter what, all of them, it is more than likely that the person who received all these awards is as restless as before. A new worry, a new form of unrest, a new form, a new kind of incompleteness affects that person. That's the law. If all incompleteness, all unrest, if all agitation, if all dissatisfaction were to go forever, it is only in the Vedanta. It's only through self-knowledge. I am not the doer at all, nor am I the enjoyer or sufferer of the results of actions. There's a total waking up. There's a discovery of the pure self. That is a different matter, and this shloka is not talking about that Vedanta. This shloka talks about Karma Kanda, very eminent people, but who are still in the Sadhya Sadhana Bheda. Sadhya is what is to be accomplished. Sadhana is the means as well as your effort to accomplish it. Sadhya sadhana bheda is the characteristic of karma kanda as well as upasana kanda. Whereas sadhya sadhana bheda rahita advaita tattvam is the hallmark of self-realization. Bhuta papaha. Who is a verbal root which is to purify, to clean up something. The past passive participle is puta. Somehow the word punita has become very popular everywhere. Girls and boys are named Puneet, Punita, and so on. I guess technically it's not a right word unless some other explanation is given for it. Pu, Punati is the verbal form, Puta. Somapaha, Puta Papa. Those who conduct yajnas and at the end of the yajna they drink soma rasa of a certain plant that is supposed to be a mark of celebration. So somapaha, somam pibanti, it is somapaha. Pa here is not in the sense of lord or master. You have a word like nripa. Nr means human beings. Pa is pati there. Nrunam pati nripa. Some places pa. Udupa. Udupa means the moon. Udu is stars. Moon is considered the leader of all stars. Udunam patihi or Udun pati. Pa can mean one who protects, one who takes care of over there. But here, somam pibati or pibanti, drinking. Because pa dhatu has both the meanings. Pa, pati means protects. We know many bhajans have the word pahi, pahi, pahi. Stotras. Chandrasekhara, 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 Pahima. Chandrasekhara, 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 Rakshama. Par over there means to protect. But the same par root, same meaning, sounding the same, but it in another form, the what they call first conjugation is pa becomes pibati. Therefore, pana is a drink. Pana, panaka, peya are all in the context of drinking. So this should suffice to elaborate on this word. Somam pibanti. Those who perform certain Vedic yajnas at the end celebrate by drinking the soma rasa. Soma is a certain plant and the secretion or when you squeeze it, certain juice comes out. That is supposed to be like a mild intoxicant. It's not to be misunderstood as some mad indulgence. No way. It's a kind of a celebration where more than the intoxicating influence of the drink, there is certainly the joy of having completed a major yajna. Puta papa. Vaidika karmas definitely remove papa and bring to us punya. Punya comes to us. Papa goes away. Sin goes away. So all their sins are cleansed. Yajnaihi ishtva. Ishtva again is having done a yajna. Yaj, yajati. But then ijya. Then ishtva. These come from the same root. Yajnaihi ishtva. Yajnan krutva. Through various forms of prescribed rituals, fire rituals of the Vedas, having pleased the gods, they reach Swarga. Swarga itself is called Swargati. After all, Ga means Gam Gachati. And another noun form of it is Gati. Whether you just say Swarga or Swargati, it is heaven. They pray for heaven for they have seen the utter futility of accomplishments on the earth. They give us a certain happiness for a while, and pretty soon all of them are gone. Whereas in the heaven, relatively, things are long-lasting. Swargatim prarthayante, and indeed, they punyam asadya, having earned, having collected a lot of merit, Surendra Lokam Ashnanti. One more name for Swarga is Surendra Lokam. Surendra is no other than Indra. Indra, the word Indra has the meaning of master. So he is the master, he is the lord, he is the ruler of all the suras, the devatas. So Surendra Lokam, call it Indra Loka or call it Swarga, they do go. Ashnanti, they enjoy. Once you reach there, so many enjoyments come with that attainment. All kinds of sense enjoyments, all kinds of subtle enjoyments like music, dance, and higher literature, and all that without any hassles. On the earth also we have many enjoyments, but every now and then our enjoyments are marred by some obstacle, some difficulty, some kind of negative side of the matter. Sometimes there are some accidents too. You go to a beautiful hall to listen to some music, to watch some dance, and fire breaks out. Or some kind of stampede happens. Or some kind of terrorist attack also may take place. Or somebody may say, stop this halfway. There was an incident in Kerala sometime back. A music program was going on, but apparently it was disturbing a judge who was living nearby. And he had the powers, being a magistrate with certain powers and knowing law. And drawing from some section of Indian law, he just issued an order, and the police came and they stopped that celebration halfway. You can't do all this. It's disturbing the peace of the neighborhood. Immediately it should be stopped. And then, of course, there was a lot of politics about it. Why are they not stopping so many other forms of music or some other noise, some other sound coming from religious or non-religious places? Why target only this music issue? There is a certain prejudice, there is a certain bias, there is a certain political vendetta here, etc. was spoken. Let us leave it aside. But on the earth, many a time, our enjoyments are not without any problems. There are many problems. Whereas in the heaven, Ashnanti, Divyan Bhogan, Divi, in the heaven, Divi is in the heaven, Deva Bhogan, and lot of those enjoyments apparently are unknown on the earth. They are Deva Bhogas, not just Martya Bhoga, whatever is available on the earth, but some additional ones also. Divine enjoyments. Therefore, Sri Krishna is not at all reserved. He does not hesitate to say that there do exist unthinkable enjoyments in the heaven. But now coming to the downside of even heavenly enjoyments, the next verse goes into it, but quickly we will see what Bhagavan Bhashyakara has to say. Trividyaha Rag Yaju Sama Vidaha. So Vidya here also means those who have the Vidya, those who know. Rag, Yaju and Sama. Rigvedaha, Yajurvedaha and Samavedaha. Together is Rig, Sama, Yajurvedaha. Rig, Yajus, Samavedaha. So I already said Atharva is included in this. Mam Vaswadi Deva Rupinam. In the Karma Kanda, they are worshipping God, but not as the one God who pervades everything. They look at God due to their limitation of knowledge, their limitation of understanding. They look at God as limited to this form or that form. Vasu Adi. There are some 8 Vasus, Ashta Vasavaha. Vaswadi Deva Rupinam. Somapaha, Somam Pibanti iti Somapaha. Tena eva Somapanena Bhutapapaha. See, Adi Shankara gives one more dimension of drinking Soma. Once we drink the Soma, it's not just enjoyment, it's not just celebration, it is in fact the last step of a process where sins are washed away. It's like one anga of the upasana. Just as in popular pujas, worship these days, you have at the end an arati. And imagine somebody forgot arati. So those who are experts in karma would say, definitely if you did not do arati at the time, so Mangala Charanam and so many words are used for the last couple of steps. If you didn't do it, your punya will be discounted, will reduce a little bit. So here too, Sri Shankaracharya says, Somapanena Puta Papa. They do the yajna, they complete it. Somapana, drinking soma, is not just celebration, it's also a part of what needs to be done to complete the process. Puta Papaha means Shuddha Kilbishaha. Their impurities are gone. Impurities are not just lust or greed, anger or all those. Even laziness is a Maha impurity. Lethargy, postponing things, even just harboring negative thoughts. Talking too much is one kilbisha. Not talking when you have to say something is another kilbisha. Right. So life is a major challenge, a great challenge. It's like a tightrope walk. You have to neither fall on this side nor fall on that side. Neither overeat nor undereat. Neither overspeak nor underspeak. Neither oversleep nor undersleep. In everything, ahara vihareshu, you have to strike a balance. What will happen if you don't? You will pay a price for it. There are some people who talk so much, and I have noticed in some group discussions, somebody is talking so much, and one or two others want to say something. This fellow doesn't allow them to say anything. He himself is talking. And I have noticed how the others who wanted to speak after 10 or 15 minutes, after trying 2 or 3 times to say something, just resign. They give up. They just put their head down. Some of them even look at the ceiling. You should see their faces. They get sick of this person. They see that this person is an impulsive talker and he is misusing this group discussion, which is supposed to be a dialogue, which is supposed to be people exchanging their thoughts. But this person, however learned he may be or she may be, unable to control his or her urges, goes on and on and on. And even when somebody wants to say, wait, hold on, let me complete what I'm saying, he says. He never completes. So, kilbishan, that is also a kilbishan. Certain places I have seen some big fellow, openly everybody respects him, but behind his back, people are fed up because he goes on talking. He goes on telling them what they should do. And he never listens to their suggestions, their advice. He doesn't want to listen to them at all, leave alone going by their advice. So they feel sick. So there is so much of all this in these soft skills which they call how to run a team, how to lead a team, how to work as a member of the team, how to communicate. Communication, for that matter, is not just having good language. Many a time, half of communication is readiness to listen when you have to just listen. Listening is as much a component of communication as speaking. So if one is either overdoing or underdoing, then that is a kill vision. Therefore, some karma and some upasana, some paropakara, some service to others in secular language. But here it's a religious language. Certain Vedic karma helps us purify our mind. Agnishtoma adibihi. Nowadays, many of us do not know what this Agnishtoma is, but it is given as an example of Vedic rituals, Agnishtoma. Certain Vedic scholars would surely know this these days also. It may not be as rare as you would imagine. Everywhere there are some Vedic scholars who perform these also. Ishtva, Pujayitva. So Yajna, Yaga, Puja, all of them come together, come under one umbrella here. Pujayitva Swargatim Swargamanam. Gati and Gamana are synonyms. I said while talking about it before, Swargati can mean just Swarga, because Ga itself is going. But Shankaracharya gives another abstract noun, Gati and Gamana. Swar eva gatihi Swargati. Swar is the basic word for heaven. Swaha, the swar becomes swaha, bhur, bhuva, swaha. Or you may say, some places we hear suvaha, that also is right. Swaha as well as suvaha. Bhur, bhuva, suvaha, bhur, bhuva, swaha, tat saviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo na prachodayat is the most well-known Gayatri mantra. Some singers have added music also to it, instruments, instrumental music behind, etc. Orthodoxy doesn't permit it, but for the masses, for the bazaar, this Gayatri mantra with all kinds of background music and the tune is also changed is most welcome. People buy those CDs in olden days, audio cassettes, etc. were still selling like hot cakes, where somebody would sing Veda mantras with some nice, almost like Bollywood music tune. Leave it aside. So, Swar eva gatihi, Swaha and Suvaha are the same. That itself is an attainment. It need not be physical movement. It is a movement in consciousness. You are conscious of a certain realm of objects at this moment. You become conscious of another domain, another realm, another field. So there may not be any physical travel. Sometimes people ask, where exactly is heaven located? Is it within the solar system or is it some a few light years away from the solar system? We say these these words, lokas, like Varga, could be right here, coexistent with the earth, for they are to be attained through moving into another space-time continuum. Generally, we think everything should be in the space that we know, on the time axis that we know. But think, space-time of our world is one. Another space, another time. And there are objects there too. There are people, there are living beings, there are jivatmas there also. And therefore, once the space-time of our existence and the space-time of Devata existence are two separate bundles, then there is no clash also. There is no collision. There is no conflict between the two. Therefore, as you and I are studying Bhagavad Gita, there could be a Devata just behind us, in front of us, or why? There could be some Devata who is even in us. Nowadays, even a lot of physicists have brought out videos, have talked about not universe, but multiverse. Universe is, uni means one, but multiverse, where the multiple universes coexist without colliding with each other. Imagine, without going long on this, imagine you are coming from one direction and a devata is coming from the opposite direction and the third party is watching. And in the eyes of the third party, this devata and you come very close and the third party is afraid you will hit each other. And the third party sees you two hitting each other, but neither knows what happened. You pass through each other. You move through each other. Many years ago, I watched, what was it, by Brian Greene or someone. I think Brian Greene. Google him up. YouTube, you see. Brian Greene, Brian Greene, Greene. He produced some videos where the possibility, not that it is proved in silence, but proved in science, but he visualizes the possibility. And to make it very popular and to make it interesting for laymen also, he shows certain possibilities. There is a cup of tea. I come and sit on a chair and take that cup. After 2 minutes, you come and take this chair opposite, and you also take that cup. Then a third person comes, he also takes that cup. So how many cups are on the table? And then he explains, this is a multiverse, not universe. So each cup belongs to yet another universe. And therefore, take any number of cups, more cups remain. There are more universes. So all this mind-blowing stuff. Anyway, all this came because Varga doesn't have to be in the time-space continuum that you and I know. It could be another realm of consciousness. Te cha punyam punyafalam asadya samprapya surendra lokam shatakratoho sthanam. Surendra, as we said, is Indra, the king of gods, and his another name Shatakratu. Because a Jivatma, an individual soul, performs certain Vedic ritual 100 times. When he or she performs it 100 times, then he becomes qualified to become the next Indra. So Indra is a position that can be occupied by eminent beings. So Shata means 100, Kratu means that particular yajna, Shatakratu. And that Shatakratu himself, for brevity, is called Shakra. Shakra is Indra, Shatakratu is Indra, Devendra, Surendra, Shachipati, and so on. Probably Amarakosha. You know, there is a work called Amarakosha. That Amarakosha was the old thesaurus of Sanskrit. You get 10, 12, 25, 33 synonyms for different words. Maybe you should check Indra. You will get, I won't be surprised if there are a dozen parallel synonyms for Indra. Shakra, Shatakratu, Shachipati, Surendra, Devendra, and Devanam Patihi, and so on and so forth. Thesaurus. Writers and speakers use thesaurus a lot. Today it's all available in Microsoft Word itself. I all the time use while writing an article. I have used the word already. I don't want to repeat the word. Again, in the same sentence, especially, the same word comes to my mind. I write it and then look for synonym. Instead of good being repeated, I may use the word noble, kind, beautiful, as it fits into the context. Shatakratoho indrasya sthanam ashnanti. Sthanam means lokam. Bhunjate. They enjoy. Divyan, divi deva, divi bhavan. They exist only in heaven. Certain enjoyments, divi bhavanti. Bhumau prathivyam na bhavanti. They cannot be seen on the earth. Aprakritam. Prakrita is of a lower quality. Prakriti is inert nature, whereas aprakrita is of a higher order of subtlety. Deva bhogan, devanam bhogan. They enjoy. So Sri Krishna fully acknowledges that karma is not a waste. Was it not in third chapter? He had said loudly, Siddhir bhavati karmaja. Siddhi, success is the outcome of karma. Kshipram himanushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. So the Veda and Vedanta do not literally condemn karma. They do acknowledge. No wonder siddhir bhavati karmaja is in the logo of IIT Madras, the Indian Institute of Technology Madras, which continues to be called IIT Madras. Many people say, oh, IIT Chennai. No, no. The IIT continues to be called IIT Madras. The one in Mumbai continues to be called IIT Bombay. But the city might have changed its name. That's a different story. In the logo of IIT Madras, there is a lamp and then it's written Siddhir Bhavati Karmaja. Appealing to all the students, work hard, study. Your hard work will bring you great success. So they don't say Vedantic thought. You are not a doer at all. That doesn't fit into an industry and institution where everybody is supposed to work hard. All right. Without reading the next shloka, let me tell you, next shloka pulls the rug below your feet. Yes, you enjoy a whole lot. You reach enviable positions. Agreed. But is anything permanent? Nothing is permanent. At the end of it all, the punchline in the next shloka, which we'll see in the next class, is Kshine Punye Matyalokam Vishanti. When your punya is over, exhausted, when your merit, religious merit, is over, then you get back. You come back to the world of mortals, meaning the earth. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. May Divine Mother Lalitambika bless all of you. Om, Om.